Boom. Okay, let's see what's happening. See what's going on out in the world today. Test, test, test. 1, 2, 3. Test, test, test. 1, 2, 3. Boom, boom, boom. Okay. Here we go. Let's get this off. Boom. All right. Got 7 people in the house. Soulogy daily, which never occurs daily. Just occurs whenever it's spontaneous, intuitive, creative, imaginative, and courageous. And normally it occurs when we're on the other side of something. It looks like, what? Like the, I don't know, 14th, 15th, 16th. There was some big, gigantic, colossal, life-altering energies. Let me know if the sound's okay, Ernestine. And stick around, Ernestine, because I'm going to pull some people in from the audience after a bit that are going to be at the Soulogy Fest. Let me know how the sound is, if you would. 15 people in the house and counting. Yeah, so we just went through a lot. Every time, I don't get on social media much anymore, but, when you go on, you can pick up on things, obviously, like, if you're writing, about what's going on or what you're receiving. Hey, Sue Baxter Fitz. Sometimes you'll see other people that are, writing the same thing. But I noticed about, it would have been yesterday and today, as I was doing my work, bouncing around, I noticed that many people were talking about what they've been going through. And, so, and it all seemed to be kind of the same. Like, somebody said here, I don't know who said it, it's been intense. The only way I can see the names on Facebook is if you're on my page. If you're on one of the other pages, it just comes up as Facebook user. So whoever said that, yeah, it's been real intense. Hey, Debbie Mahoney, how's it going? A lot of us have known each other for a long time. Back in the day when we were kind of like an island in and of ourselves. And through Soulogy, which again, let me just remind you, it has no doctrine. Hey, Nicola Light. That's who that is. There's no doctrine here. There's no dogma. There's no philosophy. It's all energy. It's an energy. It's not an organization. It's a movement, whatever you want to call it. But it's a place where everybody finds that they're not the only one going through what they've been going through. Not just now, not just in the last few days, but also their entire life. Jed Riverstone's in the house. Janet Herman is in the house. Yeah. So, I just want to do what we do. Remix, reinvented, remodeled, resurrected. We seem to be doing that every day, and there seems to be energy. We can call it the Trinity energy. You can call it the third energy, the Holy Spirit. You can call it Soulogy. That's working with us. And it's asking us to do something different every day. I'm going to talk about that for a while. We're going to talk about a few things. And we're also going to talk about the Soulogy Fest and how it relates to what we're doing, and even the Soulogy Network, which is really just a representation of what's happening on a more amplified scale, because there's more than, one person experiencing it or witnessing it. Hello, Liz Feist in Harvey Bay. Oh, yeah. I think that's a different name because I can see your picture and I know you by another name, but I don't want to say it. I don't have permission. Terry Willette's in the house. She went to the first Soulogy Fest in Sedona. Drove all the way across the country, 70 plus years old. Ann Christian Skoglund, hello. Elizabeth Appledore, how you doing? Yeah, let me start with this, all right? I noticed a lot of these comments, by the way, about what I was talking about earlier, about people feeling the same thing. On Morgan Lee's post today. And she was describing it really, really well. Y'all know Morgan. I know her. And so, yeah, Elizabeth Ann. I just didn't want to say it because I didn't know it might be the wrong person. But I saw a lot of comments on there. What date is it? The date is December 8th, 9th, and 10th in Houston, Texas. You can also watch it online. You can go to soulogyfest.com and get that information. Yeah, and so last night as well, I ended up writing something, and I think both of these expressions carry a lot of code, and so I'm going to read what I wrote last night. I'm just going to turn this thing off here, and we'll leave the music on. How's that? We'll just leave it on in the background. So here we go. Hello, Paula Van Den Burk and Susan, A Different Way. Meow to you. BB Bloxburg from Ireland. Yeah, Elizabeth Ann, Harvey Bay. Yeah. Okay. So let me just pull this one up. It's called For Me, You, Me and You. This is, to me, describes the intricate workings of the Trinity template that applies to individuals, to couples, to groups, to every waking moment that we have in this new earth, which to me is not 5D. It's all the Ds, 5 and above, and even the ones below. We just have the insight now and the awareness to be able to choose where we want to play. So anyway, if you'll bear with me here. We'll just find a place to jump in. This is for me. This is for me. Made a discovery today. It's me. All me, for me, by me. Souls are infinite universes. So many infinite universes. Every lifetime and timeline for me. Think of the possibilities seen, and I chose you, and you chose me. That means yours is for you, mine is for me, and I chose you, and you chose me. This is what's happening. Differences, united, exciting, ancient, sacred senses, limitless expressions. Every transgression, a gifted code, a resurrection, a blessed deception. This is for you. This is for you. Made a discovery yesterday. It's you. All you, for you, by you. Souls are infinite universes, so many infinite universes, every lifetime and timeline for you. Think of the possibilities seen, and you choose me, and I choose you. That means mine is for me, yours is for you, and you chose me, and I chose you. This is what's happening. Differences united, exciting, ancient, sacred senses, limitless expressions, every transgression, a gifted code, a resurrection, a blessed deception. This is for you and me. This is for me and you. Made a discovery tomorrow. It's you and me. All me and you. For you and me. By me and you. Souls are infinite universes, so many infinite universes, every lifetime and timeline for we. Think of the possibilities seen, and you chose you and me, and I chose me and you. That means mine is for you and me, yours is for me and you, and you and me chose me and you. This is what's happening. Thank you for sitting with me on that. Let's talk a little bit about what's going on. What do we title this thing? Does anybody know? Let me go back up here. Let's see. Trust, faith, Trinity code. Okay, that was some Trinity code right there. And I've written a lot of things in my lifetime, and it really didn't. I'm not trying to prove anything to anybody, but I can tell you that's in the last 3 days I've written the two most important and my own estimation best things I've ever written. So I think that's reflective. I think that's reflective of the energy that's going around. Of what's happening. People talk about embodiment. They talk about walk the talk. They talk about this. They talk about that. But the bottom line is the proof is in the pudding. We know that it is ignited and implemented and initiated by what we do in the space of our universe, where there is no other external, where there is no outside influence, where we've reached a point of, I might call it mastery. Some people might call it mastery. I would say it's just the perfecting of the perfect imperfections that we are. We'll never be perfect in any of these realms, ever. But we're perfect imperfections, and we're always perfecting. We're always growing. So trust and faith, big things. I mean, these are big things that have been coming through. I know that's what Morgan's post was about. I know I've seen a couple others that aligned with that, to include the dates 9/11. What am I missing here? 9/11 being the 9th of November. I'm not one of those that keeps track of all that stuff, but I did see a lot of correlation out there in what people are writing. And in regard to what we just went through. And I mean, I'm seeing it from everybody. Everyone I talk to is like, oh my God, what the hell was that? Trust and faith. When I was first reawoke, a lot of people know, by my own choice, I decided to go homeless and figure this shift out, And so I had a lot of, most of my day was in a constant communion, as I walked and just, thought about things in a meditative state, basically, 2011, 2012. But one of the first things that came to me was the universal, the you, me, we, and it started talking to me about faith. And it said to me, faith is not a noun. And I thought, oh, what does that mean? Faith is not a noun. Faith is movement. Faith is life. Faith is living. Faith is, almost like something that you're seeking or being tested or something like that. Now, this was the conversation I was receiving. And so I went to the dictionary and I looked up the word faith. And the second definition is a transitive verb. Faith, the transitive verb. And it only has 3 words and a semicolon. And it says, faith, to trust, semicolon, believe. A lot of these words that we use, in fact, everything that we define and have defined in the paradigm that we're leaving, take on new definitions. There's an entirely new dictionary for our vocabulary. Not just are there new, words, phrases, and such, and definitions, but there's also new meaning to the words that we used. And I think faith falls in that category, because the message I received 12 years ago was that it's not about what you say that defines your faith, and it is about what you do. And in this wild goose chase, as I was looking at it then, because like a lot of people, I woke up to the point where I knew that I was not only human, obviously, and but what the hell is going on here? Because we could all feel something big coming in. But it was to keep moving in faith, and that's kind of obviously continued on for all of us in many departments of our life, many aspects and facets of our lives. But to me, it's come down to thoughts, words, and action, which for me is the most, and this is just me, I'm not trying to put this on anybody, but it is the most holy trinity from my human perspective. When I just take in my human, like, okay, I'm the human, I know I'm multidimensional. I have these things, these connections, and this and that, and I can see synchronicity and this and that, and you know, and life's still coming hard, and we're still asking questions, and all the stuff that we go through. But I look at it, are my thoughts in faith? You know, are my words in faith? Are my actions in faith? And that conversation takes place with me in the universe, nobody else. Nobody else. And even if it did, it wouldn't matter. The only thing it would do, if I discussed it with other people, this internal dialogue that we all have, is that I would probably be blocked a little bit because I would have other things come in. And obviously we do help each other, and we do trigger each other and activate each other, and help us to think and open up more. But in this conversation, nobody, nothing outside of me, I guess you could say in a way, is going to be a factor. I know my truth, and the universe knows my truth. So therefore, if I can embody and actualize and initiate and lay this grid down with each step I take, with each thought I have, each word I say, and each action of creation, then I'm faith. Faith is in motion. Faith is doing something. We are doing to be. We do to be because we be what we are. Now, that's great. That's kind of like waking up going, okay, I'm awake, and I understand how all this works. Now we can either sit there and let the grass grow under our feet, or we can get jiggy with it, and we can start creating something. I've been blessed and cursed with having my own way of operating in this transition that we call ascension. I tend to go. I'm a creator, producer, and this is not just in this lifetime. And I bring energies together in an ever-expanding vibration, and we remix things. This is what I do. Now, my nature is to really, push the envelope. And as my friend Hung, the beautiful Hung, the Dragon Queen, likes to say, that I'm a dam breaker. I think she said dam breaker. D-A-M-N, no. But yeah, and so as a result of that, I find myself in a really interesting situation in regard to the network, and in regard to Soulogy Fest, and in regard to my transition we call ascension, in regard to my growth and my maturity, and so on and so on and so on. All through the years that I was traveling around and living out of a suitcase, and we ran until March of this year strictly on contributions, which was faith, right? I had this whole relationship with the energy that's starting to really expand now. I'm sure we all did in our own way. We were all creating code and figuring stuff out along the way. So I would be, somewhere. I would be in Arkansas years ago, 2016, in the middle of winter, 2 feet of snow on the ground, and all of a sudden I'm displaced. I don't have any money. It's, like 11 o'clock at night. I literally walk up this mountain, basically, in the city that I ended up living in later, and I walked to a Lowe's, and I went to go sleep in one of their storage sheds in the parking lot. And I didn't know what I was going to do. And I just decided, or I heard, which I would hear many, many more times, just pick up the, turn your phone on and just tell the story. Just do something. Express your soul, essentially. And without even addressing the matter, right? And on that day, a supporter saw it. And this was a time when Soulogy wasn't getting any contributions or donations or whatever you want to call it. And so this is, 1 o'clock in the morning in my end of the world, but somewhere else it was earlier in the day. And this supporter messaged me and said, I'm going to send you $300. And I'm like, oh, okay. That'll get me, that'll get me going. And so what ended up happening was I woke up the next day and I had been feeling New York. You're going to go to New York City. I'm like, I'm not going to New York City. I don't go to New York City. But the next day, everything fell into place, and I ended up buying a ticket after I got some food and a couple of things I needed for $237, and then I kept going. But it always ran this way, and what I would see then is what I see now, which is this energy. I call it like a beach ball energy. It's an energy that doesn't respond to the old paradigm movements and constructs. It responds to your frequency. It responds to your Trinity frequency. You see, I learned this over a long time, and I didn't perfect it. And I still, like myself and like you all and your own projects and such, it is an imperfection. It's a perfect imperfection that we're perfecting. And the great thing about aiming for perfection is even if you don't get there and you come close, that's a hell of a feat. But what I noticed was that when I, more or less get everything off my mind and I just focus on the moment, and I, like right now, and I just focus on all that we know we are, what we feel within ourselves, what we have in common that we spend time trying to explain and even convince people and this and that. That energy, I call it Soulogy, the I am soul. And then the next step is to share it, and you share it out. And in this new paradigm, if you will, sharing is giving and receiving at the same time. Now, I saw this in right after the first Soulogy Fest in Sedona. I went for a walk up to the store. Franco and Franco and Kimberly were staying with me in a condo, Ashley Lee's condo, and I went to the store and I was coming back and I got this download. I mean, it was a big one. It was huge, and they showed me utilizing Franco, and they showed me somebody. It could be anybody. Could be any type of stage or any type of platform, or it could be any just in a lounge talking to, in your den, family den, talking to a few people, and one person is kind of center stage, you would say, in that moment. It could just be when they're talking, and then it goes to somebody else as you would pass a talking stick. So what happened was they showed me that within a few months that there would be available on the earth or an activation or something where for the first time the observers would be in kind of like in an infinity sign of equilibrium with the presenter, performer, speaker, or whatever that was on that stage at that time, that whatever the stage may be. So they showed this to me, and later that year, when we both got COVID, and then Franco transitioned, I saw it for the first time in real life, and it was at a gathering that Morgan and I did with Kimberly, and I saw it in that moment. I saw it in the physical. I saw it in the field, and so I think that's just continued. This, I believe, was shown to me, and I'm sure others, to give us a taste of what it would work like, to help us understand that nothing can go against it, so to speak. Because in the old paradigm, what would happen, you would have somebody on the stage, and the thoughts of the people, maybe not all of them, but some of the people, oh, who does he think he is? And he needs a haircut, or, whatever the case is. Those were penetrating and shrouding and minimizing the expression of the soul that was on the stage, so to speak. So we're in a place now where the truth frequencies are so strong. It's not about the content, although the content, the narrative, what the subject is, the topic can be and is important. It's really about the soul stepping up to be seen, The soul stepping up to seek and to reach itself in the external mirrors that are with us here on this earth. That's all of us and everything outside of us, everything external. Everything's reacting to us. And we know a lot of this stuff and it's been written and all that. But I've always been very interested in what is it like to the human being. If you look at the talk show over the years, you know, it's not a traditional talk show. It's not a tele summit and it's not a promo. It's a what's going on with you? How does it feel? What's your story? What have your experiences been? And the reason I believe that the show in its own right, Soul Speaks 5D and Soulogy platform as a whole, has been one of the, one of the areas on the earth, I believe, that garnered, that congealed like-minded souls, that built momentum, that built group consciousness and group illumination, is because there's something about people coming out and being themselves. And this, we can take all the different transmissions and downloads and everything that everybody gets. But for me, I try to break it down to the human part. And for me, I keep telling the universe, thank you. So thank you, because we're going to have an Earth, a solar system, a galaxy, a universe, a multiverse. We're going to have it here at Earth Central, on Earth Main Street, Soulogy Main Street, whatever you want to call it, where all we have to do is be ourselves. Just be ourselves. And a lot of us, all of us, have been finding out more and more and more about who we are by finding out who we're not. And the cool thing about that is that as we find out who we're not and we let go of those things that we thought we were, and sometimes we go cussing and screaming, but every time that happens, we find out more about ourselves. You know, some people might say, well, we get more photonic light, well, you know, more light comes in. What does that really translate to? It translates to finding new sensitivities, new skills and abilities, talents. And a lot of times we think that's going to be, you know, and I'm not taking anything away from anything because it's powerful, it's real, light language, for example. Other things, we know many, many people on the show that have come through the years, Gayatri Singh, Marita Shashan, I can go right down the list, Jan Lemary, I mean, so many people that in their wake-up experience became magnificent artists. Jan swims with the dolphins. I mean, there's a lot to it there. But where I feel, and where I'm going with this, that two things I'll stand on. One is that when there are two or more people, and we were having a real transparent, and again, transparency is perfection, okay? And we're coming from, you know, wearing, you know, spiritual clothes or mask or whatever. We are perfecting our ability to be transparent. And it gets better every time. And the way it gets better every time is by doing it. Now here goes the faith, the transitive verb again, faith being in motion. So, number one, I will stand on this, that two or more gather, and there is an open, in the trajectory of transparency, communication, conversation, expressions, whatever, music, whatever. This is where our highest level of code exchange comes from. It's not coming from the ethers. I mean, it does. But our strongest suit is right here. Why is that? Because I contain all of my multidimensionality here. I can find my singular voice, and we're finding it more and more every single day. We're learning to speak the same to every single person. We're learning to take all of our collective makeup, all of our collective voices, our angelic, our galactic, our elemental, the things we know about, the things we don't know about, to have one singular voice as the I am presence that we are, as the gods and goddesses that we are. Okay? And when we start to do that, then our mirrors, go back to the Franco download that I just told you about, the mirrors start to it's an equilibrium. Okay, if you want to put it in human terms, I saw, and I've seen this 1,000 times on Soulogy, different Soulogy things. And it basically goes like this. I'll just put it in my own words. We see somebody do something in that truth frequency, in that I am soul frequency, in that perfect imperfection on a trajectory towards perfection. And then we go, wow, I'm going to do that. How many people have started podcasts from, and I'm just using this as an example, Soulogy? I know a lot. How many groups have been started? I know a lot. How many couples have come together? How many friends have come together? It's the same energy. It's contagious and it's expanding rapidly. And I believe it expands at its highest potential when we have the courage and the strength, creativity, the imagination, the intuition's applied, the telepathy, everything is there. But the transparency is put out first and foremost. This is where our highest codes come from. And this is what we're doing at Soulogy Network. And this is what we're doing at the Soulogy Fest. And this is what we've done in Soulogy in the past. And that is to provide a place where people can find their voice. And the great thing about it is when they do that, other people immediately start to do it, especially in these times. It's really happening now. So this is really where I'm going with this today. I'm not here to promote Soulogy Fest. I'm not here to promote the Soulogy Network. I say it every day when I come on. If you can't do it here, by God, do it somewhere. Because it's important. It's not, it is the Trinity energy. The importance is because of the Trinity energy. It's the best thing that we can do for ourselves and for each other and for this collective. And when I say collective, I mean every timeline, every dimension, it doesn't matter, every aspect, every single one of them. We are in our own right a great equalizer. Our journey coming to a head now, literally walking on this new earth, playing with this new earth. We are real-time, providing real-time code for all of our universal aspects, however you might look at that, perceive that, explain that to yourself, or whatever. We're providing every single one of them. I remember last year, my higher self, my soul, telling me, you realize, and I'm sure it was like from higher aspects and maybe not the oversoul, or whatever, I don't know. But it said to me, you realize that we are learning as much from you as you have been learning from us. So they aren't here in form. We are. We have a voice. We're finding that voice. And that voice is both literal and metaphorical. That voice is our ability to dance, to sing, to write, to play, to draw, to paint, and so many other things. When we talk about the skills and abilities and talents and sensitivities of a higher nature that are coming in as we clean our plate, I see that. Obviously, telepathy, bilocation, so many different things. But I think what we're missing is what we've been missing all along. It's right in front of our face. The stars are great. The planetary design, the other multiverses, this and that, all that stuff out there. But what about what's right in front of us? It's right here. And we can physicalize this, which is the reason we came here. Well, the physicality is the vehicle, but the feeling of the nature of a vessel in this level of density that we're coming from is the gold. It's what our family will ask us when we, quote unquote, transition to the other side, whatever that may look like now, since there's no death. The first thing they're going to say is, how did it feel? What did it feel like? Right? And so I really feel that this is where we get our highest code exchange and expansions, activations / triggers, because they're one and the same. And when we get around a lot of light, that can happen, but that's a good thing. So I feel that that we've overlooked the almost like a secret present where we're all going to find our voice to degrees that we never even thought. We're going to be able to carry harmony. We're going to be able to sing. We're going to be able to dance. We're going to be able to do any of these things because it's really about being in alignment from the Trinity energy with the Trinity energy, our intentions and desires to contribute in that matter. And that's what we do here. And that's what Soulogy Fest is about. Now I want to go back to the energy and the way the energy's been playing around. I'm talking about creation energy. I'm talking about working with the energy over the years when I'm working out of a suitcase and traveling around of a suitcase and just trying to make stuff happen. I kept being told, just keep going, just keep expressing, just keep producing, just keep creating shows and creating lives. And every time, and it was always, a bit frustrating because there was never any money saved, but everything I needed came. And so this year as we headed into the third Soulogy Fest, the first one we had 11 weeks notice, and it was in Sedona. The second one we had 9 weeks notice, and it was in Arkansas on a mountain in the middle of nowhere. And then this one I was told we had like 4 months, almost 4.5 months advance notice. I thought, this is going to be a lot different. Well, I had no idea. We all know that, July, August, September, October. I mean, if you don't hold, or I don't hold ourselves or myself in high esteem and high regard, just the journey from July through October, or even today, is enough reason to. We are behemoths. We are beyond titans, beyond any man-made gods. We are the real deal. We are the giants. What we've gone through here, and not to mention prior, has been immense, has been literally universal, life-altering. It's affecting all of us. It's affecting every aspect. And as we approached it, a funny thing happened. Along with everything else, I'm sure a lot of y'all can relate to this. There's a lot of time horizontal, being on your back, having to be in quiet. I'd be working and then I'd have to lay down, and 3 hours later, I'm like getting up, going, how can this keep going? I got work to do. My soul kept saying, don't worry about it. It's going to be fine. It's going to be beautiful. You can't force anything. I'm thinking, yeah, you can't force anything, but don't you got to do business things, And it just didn't make any sense. But every day I would be told, just like I am with the network, and just like I am with my life, and just like I am with my relations, and I'm sure all of you, because as the individual goes, so goes the collective. But as the time went on and the clock's ticking, and I'm going, how's this going to work? And again, I'm told over and over again that what's going to happen and how it happens, not just, Soulogy Fest is an example, or Soulogy Network, or Todd's life, or your life, or mine. How it happens and what's going to happen are going to be things and experiences that have never happened. And this goes along with some intel that I would get on the streets in all those years and since then that would say, and I'd say, because you know how it is. You get all that, they'll give you all this information, and then you get a download and, coincidences and synchronicities, and you got all this information. And other than like sharing it on Facebook on a post or whatever, or a YouTube video or whatever, you would say to the universe, well, what do I do with this? And they would always tell me the same thing, and they still do today. Whatever you do, don't do anything that's been done by you before. Don't do anything that's conventional. Utilize your connectivity, your multidimensionality, the information that you've been given, the code that's been turned on, and just go into that space or whatever you got to do and just go make it happen. And sometimes I'll go into that space, and sometimes I'll just turn on the mic and just say, I'm going live, which is kind of what happened today. So I think part of what's coming through now for everybody too is that through enough experiences and enough shared experiences that our soul, us, who is you, who is me, is making its presence known more and more every moment, every day. You can see with more ease and grace. You can see the logic, the rhyme to the reason. You can see the soul, you, me, is in control. We are soul. I am soul. We are soul to soul, speaking soul to soul. And again, this is literal, but it's metaphoric. So if you look at something like Soulogy Fest, be you come online or in person, if you look at the other two, if you look at Soul Speaks 5D, if you look at some of the other productions, if you look at the 20 shows that we have now with these producers, which are all unique, they're all carrying the I Am Soul. They're all being themselves. They're all in a place where it's so important to them that they're not concerned about how many views or how many likes or how many comments or how much money is involved. They're there. We're here, all of us, from a soul perspective, when we made the choice to come, swimming in the same energy. And we're realizing this. We've been swimming in what we have sought all along. We just didn't know it was there. Well, now we do. So this is a place that we practice it. We practice being ourselves. So when you go to a Soulogy Fest, the first two, more than anything, more than who spoke or who sang or who presented or who did a workshop, the number one thing by far was the soul recognition and the soul-to-soul communications. And it's massive. This world has been appraised, graded, ruled by systems of erroneous standards. Everything's upside down. Everything is upside down. That means the biggest platforms out there are more of a presented, I hate to say it, but a distortion. The ones that are small, the ones that are under the radar, the ones that show up, no matter if it's one person. Look at Ernestine Day. Ernestine Day comes on, I don't even know, 3-4 times a day. There could be 12 people watching her. There could be one person watching her. There could be nobody. She don't care. She's shining her soul. I've watched her community, and I've spent a lot of years building communities and pages and platforms. I know what it takes. And I also know that there's a lot of, let's just say, non-physical energy out there that's working hard you could say, against the coming out of this type of energy like Ernestine. Excuse me. But I've watched her do her thing, and her community has populated to an incredible degree very quickly. And again, this is literal, but it's metaphoric. And most of all, it's an example. It's an example of that faith, the transitive verb, to be in motion. And you can't argue with it. You can't bullshit the truth, because the truth ain't going to bullshit you, right? So we got a lot going for us in our favor. And at Soulogy, as you know, we've just done our best to create a place where we can openly do that, and kind of go against the grain. But I feel that it's like the earth itself, like us, is about to explode in the most beautiful, positive way. And we can't take our, hands off the steering wheel or off the gas pedal. We still things will be put before us in so many different ways. Some at higher levels of consciousness and than others. And we, one by one, are bringing these things into alignment. And the human experience, the life experience that we have, is the last to know, is the last to go. But it's also the one leading the show. So what I'd like to do now is, I see Vanita's out there, and I saw Ernestine, and I'm sure there's a couple more out here. But anyone that's, and I want to keep this very succinct. What we jump into here in a minute. I want to stay with this. I want to stay with this discovery, this engagement of what I've been talking about, of you and of me, of the I am soul, of the I am soul. I want to speak soul to soul. We've spoken wounded ego to wounded ego long enough. Let's speak soul to soul. Let's talk about what goes on, or what will go on, or how do you feel? Are you and apply it in terms of where we're at and where we're going, as opposed to maybe just giving it a rest on some of the stuff that we've spent most of our time on over these years. Not to say that we're not going to see the shadows. We all know the shadows are the fucking gold, man. There's no other way about it. And we're developing a new relation with that shadow. And it's really, I believe, the other side of it is this soul to soul kind of thing that I'm talking about, and these pure expressions. So I'm going to put this, I'm going to put this link on my page on Facebook and on the YouTube. Well, I hadn't even pulled up the YouTube. And on the YouTube live chat. So anyone that's coming to we'll start there, because we may add other on people. The YouTube. We may, open it up to other people, but I'd like to get some people come on that have either been to the Soulogy Fest or coming to the Soulogy Fest, with the topic being what I said. And we'll see how that goes, and then maybe we'll invite some more people on. I can't go too long today because I got a boatload of work to do, but I'm willing to go in here. Let me just check my calendar, make sure I'm not missing anything. Hang on, whoever that is. So it's okay. I got 30 minutes. We got 30 minutes. Let's see. We got Ernestine here. Let's see. Come on in. Vanita, you coming in? Ernestine, what's happening? What's going on? How are you?
I'm good. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, hear you just fine. Hung the
Perfect.
Gwen, if you're out there, you should come up. You have quite a few stories
Eight,
from Soulogy
eight,
Fest.
88 right
88 what?
now.
88 people? Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
88 people in the house. All right. So Ernestine, you've
Yep.
been hanging out, to my recollection, about 3.5 years. Uh,
It'll
you've been on a
be
lot of
four
shows.
years in January.
What's that? 4 years? Is that what you said?
4 years in January.
Okay.
Yep.
Vanita's coming. Okay, so and I know because you've been on the show and you've been on other shows, and a lot of people know your story, but just the basics. The basics of it. Like I think, the basics of her story, by the way, is she shines her soul and she grows dramatically at a rapid pace, at a more rapid pace every day, which I believe is a reflection of all of us. But last year, you I don't remember exactly how this went last year. Oh, we got Hung in the house now. This is going to get really interesting. Hung, what's happening? Can you hear me? Hung, Hung, Hung. Can you hear us?
Oh,
Can you hear
Can
us?
you hear me?
Yes. Yeah, we can hear you.
she's echoing.
She's
You're
echoing.
echoing. Everyone's echoing.
Who's echoing? I'm not echoing. I don't hear any echoes. Does everybody else hear echoes? Uh-oh. I'm getting something coming in.
Ernest, I think your guests are echoing.
Oh, they are. All right, hang on. Let me try something here. How about if I do this? Talk. Is that echoing? Hello?
Am I?
Oh, echo. I don't know. I don't know what's happened with this echo thing. Okay, here's another one. We're gonna have to figure this shit out real quick. Okay, I'm fine, but the guests are echoing. That happened the other day. I don't understand what that could be. It doesn't make any sense at all. Well, okay. All right, let's see. Let's see here. Oh, there is an echo with Hung. All right, let's just kind of get this figured out. V, you want to say a couple of words and people let us know if you're echoing?
Hello, hello. I hope I'm not echoing. I think I am, though. Am I?
Ernestine, is she echoing to you?
Yes, she's echoing.
Hello, everybody.
Everybody's echoing.
I can hear Hung's cheeky voice. I don't think we've got it confirmed. Okay, we're saying echoing, but we don't know who's echoing. God, what
Your guests, all three guests are echoing.
Here,
You're
let me
the only
try.
one
Let me
that's
try.
not
Let me try one thing. It might work. It might not. Oh, I know what it is. Okay, I think I ran into this the other day. I think I figured it out. Okay, only Todd is fine. Okay, so we got it. Hang on, just give me 1 second. I'll figure this out real quick. What does that do? Anybody? Anybody want to talk?
Okay,
Hello,
I'll
hello.
Anybody?
still echoing. Still echoing.
Okay, then I'm going to move this over to this. Turn this off. Okay, how's that? How's that?
Hello, hello, hello. Oh, I think that worked.
Let's see.
I'm not
I
hearing
think
a feedback.
Is it working?
Yeah, I think you're good.
It's so hard to tell because these comments come up about 45 seconds after they've been. Yeah. The only other thing I can think of is okay, it's better. They're saying it's better. The only thing I can think of, Ernestine, is when I've done it with you, it happens. So something with your. But are you on. Anyway, I think we're okay. They say it's
I'm running
working.
off my computer.
Okay, sounds
I'm
like
running
we're all
off my
right.
computer.
No echo. Here we go. Okay, Hung, you want to start this shift show out? I was gonna talk to
I thought
Ernest.
this was I thought this was the official coming out invitation announcement.
It is for what?
Uh huh.
For
Do you
coming
want to
out.
officially come out and announce?
Have you been talking to somebody? Have you?
I'll be honest. I
Maybe.
noticed something God has I have not seen for a while. Just noticed it.
Oh, it's called happiness. Everyone is wondering why he's glowing. I'm just gonna out you because it's so painful. I'm just gonna out you. I think then it just rip the band-aid off because you talking in circles drives me nuts.
I had no intention of addressing this at all. It had nothing to do with this at all. Uh, yeah, I do feel happier. Did you notice I wasn't happy? Is that what you're saying, Ernestine?
No, no. You just have a
She's
glow
mincing.
about.
She's mincing her words. She's hesitating. That's bullshit.
Yeah, middle finger either.
What's that?
That's not the middle finger.
Oh, that's what you noticed. Is that what you noticed? Ah, it's been like that for a while. Okay, Hung, go ahead.
Morgan, you are on here. I can see you. Jump on.
That was not. Don't, wow, that was a good
Just
setup.
jump on. Yeah.
That
Just
was a
jump
great.
on.
That was a great setup. Thank you, Hung, for always coming through.
Directed.
Well, you know what the funny thing is? Well, well, anyway, I don't want to go too deep here, but so it was the what was it, the 9th of November. I woke up and I was like, I got to do something. So we connected, and we've been working very closely ever since then. A lot of hours, 5-6 hours a day. But and everything was like super expansive. We're working with the grandmother energy, and it's just been like, we've always had amazing experiences. So about 2 days ago, Hung sends a text to Morgan and to me, and she said it's 20 minutes apart. We wouldn't did the science on this. You texted her, then 20 minutes later you texted me, and so we because we nailed down what happened. So what happened was Hung sends a text to both of us, and it says, I had a dream last night. I'm a little concerned. Todd was on the stage at the Soulogy Fest. Nobody was there, and he was crying. And Morgan was trying to open up portals to get to him. Nah, it didn't do anything to me. It didn't give me a charge. I don't think it gave her a charge. I don't know. But that particular communication to each one of us set something off. So for the next 36 hours, we're going through everything. And I think it has to do with this whole wave of trust and faith. I think Morgan wrote about that a couple times. I've seen some other people writing about it. But anyway, it was just funny because Morgan's like, that little shit. she sent that thing, and it happened. It was just crazy. So there's something to be said for that, for sure. Because Hung's always popped in at the right time, in our lives. So yeah, we're straight. We're back together, and it's real. It's a real deal, and it's not just good for us, but it's good for the earth because we're just masculine and feminine, playing out the masculine and feminine energies, and doing what everybody else does in their own way. Cut through the bullshit and go direct, and have honeymoons. That's another subject.
I think Okay, so that I didn't when you started the show today. It's funny because I was messaging Morgan because she was just asking about something else, and then I was like, oh, I think this is the official announcement. She goes, this is not the official announcement. I'm like, yeah, it's going to be the official announcement. Just watch. There was and I
Uh,
okay, so everyone that's watching, just be really highly conscious of the fact that Morgan and Todd have been reluctantly public with the relationship, and we kind of have to give them some space because at the end of the day everybody's human. Everyone's allowed to kind of deep dive in their emotions, and relationships are work. That's just how it is in this dimension. Doesn't matter what type of relationship, if it's an intimate relationship, romantic, whatever, with your siblings, with your child, they are all work. And one of the things is, the irony is, this community is an exceptional community of highly intuitive feelers. And whatever is happening to Todd and Morgan, everyone allowed that to happen because they can feel it. No one talks about it, but they can feel it. So when one struggles, the other one, you're going to, if you follow both of them, not everybody does follow both of them, but if one struggles, you can feel the other side struggling as well. It's like the polarity, right? So I have the honor of being a friend to both, and that's a difficult position to be in, being a friend to both, because most of the time I just want to strangle both of you, just because at the higher level, exceptional, exceptional talent at the higher level. Human level, it's devastating. It's just it's so hard to watch the human level go through that. But at the same time, that is the beauty of this dimension. The beauty of this dimension is we are not here to give kudos to our higher selves. Okay, so all of the I would say the rise of the 90s new age movement was reclaiming your higher self and validating how awesome you are. And I think we've gone along enough decades now to realize that that actually didn't really help out in our favor, because what has happened is you have attached to a reality that cannot be played out in this dimension. What needs to be played out in this dimension is, how do we move through all of the deep dives of the human experience? And so I know it's been really hard because Todd has been working out the putting on the armor, galvanizing his feelings, putting on, like, yes, it's a shit show, but I'm still moving forward through the fire, through the shit show, but still trying to hold space for this private relationship that really should be off camera. But we're all like morbidly vested in your relationship now that it's hard not to turn off the camera on YouTube. So watching you go through this has been extremely hard, but watching you unfold the next chapter, I think it's going to be exceptionally exciting. Like all hands off, because it is a coupling of the collective. Like you said, it's good for you and Morgan. I really want you and Morgan to actually focus that it is just good on you two, and not really worry about the collective that you are serving right now. And when things feel like it's really hard, don't make
am I?
it. Step off camera. Let
Am
someone
I?
else
I'm,
do
I,
it. You
oh
know?
my God, you're funny. Am I having this conversation in front of all these people?
Yeah, we are. We are. I'm tired of this. Because if you don't, it just manifests
Uh,
in
I'm
people.
good.
And
I'm. What am I going to say?
yes, and
Yeah.
I know it's easier it's easier to just get it out so that we can all move forward. So there's not this, like, it's been a wild year. I
Hmm.
think, and you can look back and you can sit there and you can agonize over all the details where you think you have failed yourself, or where you have been so hard on yourself, or that part matters, but it doesn't matter. The most important part is, how do you move forward from that? You know what I mean? And how, and it's not about that. Better be Morgan, you better be on here.
I don't know if five. Oh, they can. We can fit five. Okay.
Yay!
Oh God, this is hilarious. I can't believe it. Did y'all set me up? Did you set me up? I think you set me up.
No, 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 no.
No,
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear
No,
you.
I had no idea she was going to do this. Like, it's a secret, hon. We just thought of like just trying.
Secrets. Not only am I having this conversation, but I'm getting this great advice from her right in front of everybody. You need to do this. You need to do this. You need to do that. No, I love this. This is great. This is Soulogy. You know, it's
It,
spontaneous. It was spontaneous, and it wasn't like planned. And
no, it's not. I think every time that's the thing about Soulogy, which I think a lot of people's heart resonance is there because it's not about like coming on when you're ready. There's no time that you're going to be ready. You just come
Yes,
on.
there is. Yes, we weren't
No,
ready.
there is. You just go with the flow and capture that energy that's coming through. That's where the magic is, right? The magic is between the unknown and your heart space. And when you move in that space, that's where the magic is. That's the connection between the two. So, anyways, going back to my rant,
yeah,
Morgan and Todd, thank you for sharing your relationship with us. I know it's been extremely trying, and I know a lot of people can't articulate it, but you really have been exceptional partners in communicating how difficult it is to connect on both levels. So even and falling apart, perfectly normal. Calling each other names, perfectly normal. Trying to make voodoo dolls out of each other and trying to stab each other in the eyes, all perfectly normal expressions of love. Because that's the thing, right? It's not. It's this is not a Shakespearean romance where everything is perfect all the time. It's about how do you stay committed? How do we recommit to your love? How do you recommit to your joy? How do you recommit to yourself when the whole world is a dumpster fire? That is what this community is about. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to make you guys cry.
no,
But I want to say thank you. I think what you two are doing is really hard. It's hard for a normal couple to be that transparent and also carve out space where you guys could just be each other with each other without always trying to feel like you're performative or you're on air or you have to curate a certain persona. Like and I just wanted to impress on you that that's not what this community is looking for anyways. This community is not looking for perfection. This community is actually looking for ambassadors that say, hey, you know what, yeah, life is going to be shit, but at the end of the day it will shake out okay. Because what makes it okay is a community that will support you through it all, you know, because we've all played every version of the human experience. Some of us had to play it in the dark secretly. And I think part of this community is saying, hey, you don't have to play it in the dark. Come out, announce yourself. If you change your mind, that's okay too. If you want to be the villain in the next second, that's okay too. We've all been there. We've all been heroes. We've all been victims. We've all been like villains. We've all been every aspect in someone else's story, even though if they don't say it to your face. I say it to your face all the time, just so you guys know. But not everyone does that. So, yes, that was my only rant. I'm not here to monopolize anything else. But I do want to point out, yeah, I just wanted, it was just painful watching Todd online, so I just needed to rip off the Band-Aid.
what do you, I don't understand. What do you mean by painful watching? I wasn't. I was fine. I was fine. Now I know I was set up. Not.
I
not
wasn't. I
not,
wasn't fine at all. But the last 9 days have been the happiest days of my life. I didn't ever think this was possible. So I'm incredibly grateful. And yeah, I think we were going to announce something at some point, but I guess you have, and that's okay too.
yeah.
All right, I'm going to leave now. That's all I wanted to do.
Oh God. Jesus.
I just want to hijack
like
this
a
thread.
like a
and
bull
pull
in a
off the
china
Band-Aid.
shop. She comes in and
Yes.
watches it all, and then sits back and
Yes.
watches it all.
So great. This is such great entertainment. Keep up the good work.
Thank you for doing that. Thank you for coming in and being you.
Hi, Ernestine. Hello, Benita. Okay. Thank you, Morgan, for joining. That was very brave. I know.
What the hell? What in the
Oh my,
hell? What the hell just happened?
I guess
They
she
both
made the
left.
announcement and they both left. Like, okay, we're done what we need to do.
I'm
Bye.
telling you, you never know, but I would swear that was planned. But I know it wasn't, but
Yeah,
I don't know.
it was
Anyway,
meant to be
it
because
was it was perfect. Yeah, it's fine.
something that Hung said
Hmm.
is because what brought tears to my eyes is both you and Morgan. And it's been hard not to say both your names at the same time, but you guys have all shown as a way to be, not just with your relationship, but who you are individually. In that, and just showing up, like I've been around for 4 years this January, and how much I've grown and expanded because of you guys. By showing, not trying to put on a facade, say everything's just peachy clean, da 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 da. You guys have been both real, honest, truthful, real. And you're giving us the same permission that we can be that for ourselves. And I cannot thank you both enough.
1 hour, 11 minutes, and 11 seconds. I guess the hell you can't argue with any of this. Yeah. Did you want to have a shot at this too, V?
But I was like, what is happening? But I knew the moment Hung came in, things were about to blow up. You know, when she comes in, things are about to blow
She
up.
says that about me. She calls me the dam breaker. She says that about me, but I think it's Jesus Christ, man.
I think you both do it in very different ways. So I will say that apparently this was the time when all of this needed to come out. And, I guess it's like how Ernestine has been part of this community way longer than I have. I haven't had many opportunities to connect with Morgan. I do see some of her posts. But I think in truth, there is that element of you having to kind of not be able to share some part of that journey, right, that you've been going through because you're like the face of Soulogy. And in some sense, like she was saying, you put on the armor, you're like, I'm just going to keep going. But we don't all necessarily know. As much as you're authentic and transparent, there's still certain aspects that you weren't able to share, right? Also because you have a connection, you have your own privacy, you have your own relationship. So I think all of us that are tuning in, like Hung said, even though you're like, wait, what just happened? It was meant to happen so that all of us can see in real time this beautiful, if I can use the word, reunion of these beautiful souls. And at this time, I know just in the past 7 to 10 days, there's been this huge process of things coming up that are really like you got to look and say, am I keeping this or am I like, this is done? Like,
Mm-hmm.
there's this
Yeah.
process. And so you're coming out of this in a very different way, like stronger, connected, united, right? Which is so
Mm-hmm.
beautiful.
Yeah.
And not everybody's having that experience, but it's okay to share that, right? Whatever level it's at. So
Yeah.
I'm grateful that we are all getting to see that piece of you that we might not have been able to see. It's something that you were holding close and near to your heart, but now all of us get to be part of it to some degree. So that's kind of what was coming to me. I'm just so happy for you and for Morgan. And I don't know if she's coming to Soulogy Fest, but if she is, I would love to meet her.
Well, um, God, this is crazy. I feel like I'm in a freaking dream. I am. Uh, but what's funny is I woke up on it was her most important number her whole life has been 9/11, the number 9/11, and in the southern hemisphere they're backward from us, or maybe not Canada, but so it's November the 9th is 9/11, and that's always been her number, right? And so I wake up on the 8th morning, which is her ninth, and some other things happen, and we'll probably talk about it. that were happening to her and happening to me at the same time. And so I woke up like, oh, I'm gonna have to reach out, and I didn't even know why. Just like we need to talk, or can we talk, or do you want to talk? And so she didn't want to. And then 20 minutes later, she realized it was 9/11, and she goes, oh well, I guess if it's over, it's over. He's calling to tell me it's over. And I wasn't calling to say, let's get back together. I wasn't calling to say anything. I just calling to say, let's just talk. So, but the funny thing was, and then the first thing she said to me was, did you know it's 9/11? And I said, no, I don't pay attention to that stuff. But our life numbers are 9/11/11/9. So, yeah. So I think for me, when I woke up on what was my 8th, her 9th, I woke up and I knew we being all of us, were on the other side. I knew it. I got it. It said to me, you're on the other side now. All of that stuff right up to yesterday can't touch you. Other than going back and talking about certain things that her or I would need to talk about. That's more the personal part of it. But the general part of it was the universal told me that's all over there in a big box. All of it is contained over there. It all can be treated the same way. And most of all, it'll lose context. It'll be a memory, but it won't have context, like with a charge or anything like that. So I feel like it was an important day for the earth. And we're happy to be, doing our part. And we're happy to be proved out. And I would also say that there are many, many, many important, significant collaborators, soulmates, we call them brothers, sisters, friends, family, whatever you want to call it, that are a huge part of this. That assist us as much as we might have assisted others. So we have a show on the Soulogy Network. I got to go start it right now. And wow, you can't make this stuff up, man. I can't believe this just happened, and that's really funny. And I'm gonna have to sit down with it. But as soon as I start this show, I'm gonna get hung on the phone, chew her ass out. I love you guys. We'll talk about the Soulogy Fest tonight or tomorrow.
Okay.
Good. Love you.
And yeah, let me just say this too. Like, I don't understand this energy. This has been happening. It's been crazy to try to do the things. I'm almost dead. Literally, I feel revitalized today for the first time in a while. I don't know if it's going to last. I've literally not been able to do things. Everything's just come to a halt. And I knew there was a perfection to it. But I would just say that we're going to keep going. And, it's not about promoting anything. Part of our duty is to lay down the code of an equal energy exchange in the physicality. So it's not about promoting the festival or network, but I would say this: we're going to keep putting stuff out, and we're following the guidance. And as we did before, we were told to transition, and that was painful. And then to have all this go down at the same time is painful. And so it's more of like, if we resonate, you're not buying a ticket. You're just supporting us like you always have. That's all. And we pay it forward. That's a big part of this. Is we pay it forward. We paid it forward for years. We paid it forward at the first 2 Soulogy Fests, and we'll pay it forward with this one. And I mean energetically in all ways, to include abundance in all its forms. Okay. Thank you for letting me say that. Thank you for bearing witness to Hung and her pain in the ass ingenuity. Benita, I can't wait to see you, though. It's going to be great.
My gosh.
And I didn't even get to see Ernestine last year. I was incarcerated.
Yeah. And I find out all this, and you're kidding. And pretty well everybody who was getting there had issues.
I know.
Some way, shape, or form. It's been crazy.
And here we go. We're at an hour 19. Here we go with the 911 backwards, and we have 91 people in the house. You can't make this shift up, man.
Yeah, make it up.
I know. I'll see y'all
And I'll
later. Thank
see
you.
you in 2 weeks.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. I'm working on that right now. I'm working on everything right now. It's going to be very cool. We're going to take possession on the 24th. Okay. Love you. Bye.
Love you guys.